Hey everybody, this is Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and today I've got a brand new CGC unboxing. Now this is a modern pre-screen 9.8 order, and it is the second half of a 50 book submission that I made last May. In fact, I sent these out May 13th of 2021, and I've got it back in my hands today. Today that I'm filming this video is June 7th, 2022. So when you see this video, it's probably going to be about a week or so since I've opened this, but I wanted to give you the dates so you know exactly how long it took. If you send your books into CGC to have them clean and press, CCS will have them for a long time. So this is yet another one of these orders that has been over a year to get back into my hands. Now luckily, it's not a big deal. It's fine. I didn't need these on a timely basis or anything, so I could afford to wait on them, but I certainly didn't expect a year when I first started doing these. I expected everything I'd been hearing at the time a year ago. It was taking probably 9 to 11 months, maybe 10 months or something like that, but I think things have changed a little bit, and definitely these orders that have been in there at this long have definitely not been the priority of CGC at this point. Now, I have noticed that once these books get through CCS and into CGC, they seem to be graded pretty quickly after that point. It's not like it's another 3 or 4 months longer once they're done at CCS. So anyway, yeah, so this is, like I said, this is the second half of a 50 book order. This is 25 books in here, but you probably can tell this is not a very big box. So let me tell you how I did this order a year ago. In the whole 50 books was a pre-screen 9.8 order that I was having them work on. And it was a big risk. I figured that these books were all worth it at 9.8, that I felt like they were great candidates for 9.8, but they needed a little help. And I was just learning about cleaning and pressing. I didn't know how to do it myself at that point. If I had, I would have saved a lot of money because I would have done all of these myself. And in the year since, the other thing that I've added to these orders is I will do a much better job at evaluating whether a book should go in at a 9.8, 9.6, whatever kind of pre-screen that I choose, based on the fair market value of that grade at that particular time. For example, if some of these books in here, if they come back, if say there's no pre-screen and they would come back as a 9.2 or a 9.0, well, the value really wasn't going to be there to have them graded at that price. There's really no return on something like that. And that's why I had chosen to do a pre-screen. Now, a year ago, I set that as a 9.8, took a big risk knowing that if none of the books, they were going to work on all of them, so I paid for that. But if they didn't come back, I could literally come back with 25 books that didn't get graded. Now, luckily, we have some books in here. So we definitely have some 9.8s, so I'm happy about that. I know what the order is. It's a nice run of books. And then there's one other book that's I think what it is, they split up the order and they threw those two kind of got cut off, because it was kind of funny because I had 3 of that particular book. One of them made it in the first 25, and the other 2 made it into this one. So we'll see how I did. I know I got a 9.8 on that other one. So anyway, let's just get into the box and we'll see what we did. As you can see, I found the orange knife. So a little bit of cleaning will do some good sometimes. You will actually find some things. But let's get into this. I mean, this was this order right here. Actually, it came back by the post office. Something I don't use anymore. I ended up getting my own FedEx account, and I have everything shipped these days using that. And part of the reason I do that is, one, it does come back a lot quicker, and it also allows me to use my collector's insurance pretty easily. I just found that between those two things, my collector's insurance will cover books coming and going to CGC and while they're at CGC, and as long as we have those books signed for, and that's how I have all this set up, is that you have to sign for these books when they come back to you and when they go down to, excuse me, when I go down to CGC. So, all right, let's see. I'm trying not to look at what I've got here. What? I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Because we know what the grades are, but we'll pull out the bad stuff first. So here is a big giant box of raw comic books. Like always with the raws, I may be upset sometimes that they didn't make it, but in this case, I didn't work on these books. In the last video, you probably saw me I wasn't upset, but I kind of made that point that when I work on a book, I think I get it up to the grade. I don't just kind of guess at it. I think it was really good what I do. I think I do a great job. And when it doesn't make the grade, then I'm offended by that. I will go back on those books and I'll take a look at them. Those are the books I worked on. But the same way goes for this. This is books that CCS worked on, and I will reevaluate these too. Maybe I can give them a little bit more attention, and maybe I can get them up. The other thing I'm going to do is what I addressed earlier, is I will readdress the value of these books. Maybe there's still value at getting these at a 9.6 or even a lower grade. To be determined. But let's just get into the books here. And let's see, where should we start? Well, I tell you what, let's just start at the beginning, because getting one of these as a 9.8 is pretty nice, and it will set the tone for the rest of the order. I'm not even going to cover the grades because you know they're 9.8s, but look at that. We got Marvel Superheroes, Secret Wars #1, Mike Zeck, Jim Shooter. Absolutely stunner of this, and I'm finally glad to get one of these as a 9.8. I've had, I think, at least one other copy come in that I got a 9.6 on, and I was actually happy with that. But getting a 9.8 finally on this is a nice goal. This was my personal, all of these are my personal copies too. These were not books that I went out into the wild at comic shows, comic book stores, any place. These are my personal books. So the price that I paid for these books, in most cases, I have subscription services that order them 3 months in advance, get 35%, sometimes 50% off your books. And so you're talking about a cover price right here of 75 cents. So you're practically paying nothing for these books. Even back in the 80s, you're paying nothing for these books. But there you go. So obviously that's, as I said, is going to set the tone for this order. And I'm going to try to go in consecutive order here. The only book, there's a couple that are not in here. Number 8 is not in this order. But we got number 2 is a 9.8. I love that Magneto cover. Mike Zeck was just a master of art here. That's a beautiful, beautiful cover. And let's see. Let's just go down the line. This right here, I am so happy with, because this is number 3. This is the first appearance of Volcania. I don't even know how you say it now. But that's not the important character. The important character was Titania, or the second Titania. This is the She-Hulk villain. And just that makes it a key. This is probably, what now? This is probably the 3rd most valuable book in the 12 issues after 1 and number 8. I had so glad about this because I've had at least 3 copies that I've worked on. At least 2 of them were personal, still more personal copies, because I had multiples of these things, and I got 9.4s on them, and it was very disappointing because I felt like I had done a better job on them, and they deserved better than a 9.4. But getting a 9.8 on number 3 there, that is spectacular. That is awesome. It's a newsstand too. I don't know how that works on books from, what is this, 1980? Yeah, it's 1984. I don't know what I guess regardless of what time it was, newsstand books are more desirable because of the risk of damage on the newsstands. No matter what the count was, the risk on the stands was bad. Oh, look at that. There's 2 of those. I got 2 of them at a 9.8. So that is spectacular. Definitely one for the PC, and there's definitely one to sell. That's right there is very nice. It will be interesting to see what the value in this is at this point. A year ago, I don't even have my notes from a year ago what these were. My guess is I felt like at 9.8s everything was going to be at north of $100 value. I mean, that's why I would have done this. But don't have those notes at this time. I will, like I've been doing on some of my most recent videos, I will try to put a fair market value, currently what that price is. I will put that up on the screen, usually down here right above the comic, and we'll do some graphics, and I'll just put those up there. I won't talk about it because I don't have that information in front of me here. That is spectacular. 2 of those. Oh, wow. I take it back. Doing really good here. I obviously picked out really good candidates because I'd kept back. There was, as I said, at least 2 or 3 that I had worked on myself. So easily I had at least 5 to 6 of number 3 here alone. So, wow, that's 3 on number 3 there. That 3 9/8. Wow. That I guess 2. We have 2 directs and 1 newsstand. That is awesome. All right, let's see. I'm just looking for the right order, so we'll keep them consecutive. It also tells me a little bit of what's not in here. So here's number 6. Looks like a Bob Layton cover, doesn't it? Yeah, that's completely a Bob Layton. You can tell by looking at Dr. Doom there. It's just, that has Bob Layton written all over it, doesn't it? But that's a great villain cover. And then I've got take it back, I've got 2 of those. So we had 2 of number 6. And then we've got number 7. I guess this one's actually rising in value now too, because it's the first appearance of the new Spider-Woman. And so I guess, again, I don't know what the values are right offhand as I'm doing the video, but I'll put them up on the screen. But that's really nice right there. And let's see, that was number 7. I told you I didn't have a number 8, but it wasn't even in this order. So I still have orders in at CCS that are definitely over a year, well over a year. This was slightly over a year getting it back. The other ones were, some of those were sent in May, so they're still at CCS. And I know in one of those orders, I've got at least 1 more copy of number 8 in that. So we got number 9 there. I think we got Mike Zeck back on the covers on that. Yep. Yeah, it's really nice. And then we've got, okay, so we've got 2 of number 12. I'll just put them both right there. And that's it. That's how many I got back. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's funny. I didn't look at the order online once it was graded. I peeked and I knew there were some rejects, but I didn't look at the information. I just got away from it real quick. I had inadvertently looked at tried to look at shipping, and I hit the wrong button. So I knew that we were not going to get 25 out of 25 on this. So I didn't know what I got graded as a 9/8 and what didn't get graded at all. But what I did know was we got some of them back, so that was good. Yeah, so I think I lost my train of thought there, but I did look at the bill. That's what I was going to say. I looked at the invoice and I saw the price, and I'm sitting there going, okay, based on how much they charged me at CGC, knowing that not everything got graded, let's do some math and let's figure it out. And I kind of figured it was either going to be 10 or 11 that came back on it. And yeah, that's not very good. You want more than that. But in a way, this really worked. I mean, if these books fell below this 9/8 and the value really drops off, then you don't want it graded. Now, that wasn't part of the formula completely a year ago. It is today. So obviously these books that are in the raw box right here will be reevaluated. But 11 9.8s on the Secret Wars stuff. It also tells me the other book that's in this that didn't get graded, both copies of that are in here too. And that honestly doesn't surprise me a little bit. It's been a difficult book to get those 9.8s. But let's just go through the rolls real quick, and I'll show you what I'll be working on. And the fact that they worked on these, I'm going to have to really look at them again. My guess is most of these will be resubmitted, but I've got 3 number 1s here, and this will probably, based on the value, I probably could take this down to a 9.6 or a 9.4 value and resubmit them and still be happy with it. And I've got 3 copies of number 2. So let's just take those down. I've got 2 of number 4, so neither one of those made it through. I've got 2 of number 5, and I think 5 was probably my least favorite cover. Yeah, it's another Bob Layton, but that was probably my least favorite cover of all of them. Even number 4, I liked better just because of what it was. All right, let's set these down. And then I've got another copy of number 7. I've got 1 of number 11, and I think I had number 11 in the other half of the order. I don't know why I didn't have it matched up with the rest of this, but the first half of this order, that video has already been out and everything. I don't think I got either one of these graded as well as a 9.8. And I take it back, it was the right book, or the right title, but the wrong issue. I have 2 copies of X-Force number 1. And that may be because of, these are polybag books and everything, and they couldn't, CCS obviously did what they could do. Maybe if I spend more time with these books, I can get them pumped up a little bit, because I have been able to get an X-Force number 1 cleaned and pressed and got it back as a 9.8. So I was real happy with the results on that. But yeah, I got some work cut out for me for the rest of these books and everything. But overall, I'm really happy. I'm really happy to finally have gotten that at least 1 copy of issue number 1 as a 9.8. That has been a goal, a soft goal, not a hard goal or anything, but it feels like I finally got there. But now I've got multiple copies of 9.4, of issue number 1 here at the house that I have got to get back into the presses and put some more time and effort into them. So what I enjoy doing, I enjoy working on these books and getting them into the press and see what I can do to them. A year ago, I wasn't doing that. I was relying on somebody else, and overall, pretty good. Not great, but the value on some of these, especially those, I got 3 issue number 3s. That's fantastic. At least 2 of those will be up for sale at this point. So hopefully that will help pay for some of this order and everything. So anyway, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. And if you have not already subscribed, please do so. The channel is continuing to grow every day, and I appreciate everybody who watches the videos and the feedback that I get. So guys, take care, and I will see you for the next one.